The Aperion Audio Verus 3 concert bookshelf speakers are friggin' huge. And these speakers were actually sent as part of a much larger home theater package as the rears. My name's Taps. This is 0102 Studio, and this is a review of those speakers because these speakers are incredible. And I'm probably not supposed to say this, but for me, having these speakers as rears in a surround system seems like a bit of a waste. Unless you have a big room to fill and you like listening to movies at like near reference levels all the time, then yeah, maybe. But for day to day, I mean, unless you just like throwing money at speakers, which I totally get, and then, you know, you do you. But yeah, it's kind of overkill. But in 2-channel, take my money, I guess. I mean, I say that a lot, and there's only so many speakers I can actually have in the house. And I mean, buying new speakers is not an affordable thing right now. And if I buy any more speakers, my wife will kill me. So if I had extra money, I would throw it at these speakers, no problem. These speakers are a 2-way rear-ported speaker. They feature a 1.1-inch custom axially stabilized radiator, ASR, tweeter with ferrofluid. The base driver is an 8-inch woven Kevlar long throw driver. Around back, you get a large base reflex port that sits above 2 sets of 5-way gold-plated binding posts with 12-gauge bind post straps. You can buy empties if you wish. Rounding out the back, the treble mod allows you to reduce the treble response by 3 decibels. Impedance is 6 ohms and sensitivity is 88 decibels. The recommended power is 20 to 150 watts. They also weigh in at a whopping 28 pounds. The cabinet is HDF, which is stronger and more dense than MDF. The cabinets are curved along the sides and on top, and it's finished in a cherry gloss that's rather striking. It's furniture quality, but very much a speaker. The front baffle is black and the magnetic grills are inset into the speaker. The result is a seamless look with the grills on, but I found the speakers to sound their best with the grills off. Aperion supplies a grill removal tool to assist with taking off the grills, though you can pinch the material to pull the grill off all the way. I couldn't figure out how to get the grill off with the tool, to be honest. Because the grill is inset, with the grill off you have to be fine with the inset look of the speaker. It's an original look. You can mount these apparently, but I wouldn't imagine doing that myself. The speaker weighing 28 pounds is really hefty, and I'd leave that to a professional. These do need some sturdy stands and some free space to sound their best, so I set these up first in our living room on stands about 8 inches away from the wall. It retails for $14.49 US, and it can be purchased directly off Aperion's website. I was already in the process of reviewing a bunch of integrated amplifiers, and also a few large bookshelf speakers, so this speaker fits well into the mix with those. I therefore paired these with the Cambridge Audio CXA81 and the Rotel S14 amplifiers. They were compared to the Wharfedale Evo 4.2 and the Monitor Audio Silver 100 and Bronze 100. I first had these speakers connected to my long-term loaner, the CXA81 from Cambridge Audio, paired with the CXN V2 streamer and the CXC CD player and the Alva TT V2 turntable. Cambridge fanboy. Magic from Overlook. What a tune. There's definitely a nod to Photech in this tune, in that it basically sounds like a Photech track, just updated. Everything about this track is awesome. The atmospherics, the drum break, and then the bass stabs, all incredible. And you could really turn this up to 11 and just really enjoy the sound. It's really awesome. Give the track a listen. And these speakers handle that song no problem. So much so that I didn't feel the need to have a subwoofer connected at any point in listening to these speakers, which is good because both of my subs were taken by home theater packages at the time, so I really didn't want to move them, and I didn't need to move them with this speaker in play. Next, I switched to the Rotel S14 integrated streaming amplifier. Again, another 80 watts a channel on that amplifier, And the difference with that is it has tone controls where I'm able to just plump the bass a little bit to my liking. And I didn't need to turn down the treble because I did try the level adjustment on these speakers and just dialing the treble back a touch. And that seemed to be just fine. So I didn't really need to touch the treble on the amplifier itself. The level adjustment on these speakers and all of aperionaudio speakers is a really nice touch. And I harp a lot about tone controls on integrated amplifiers, and having the ability to turn down or just augment the treble a touch just to suit your needs if your room isn't properly treated or you have a few reflective surfaces in your room that are actually functional that you need to be there. It's just a really nice thing to have. Purification from Shades, another great track. Really frenetic, lots of ambience, lots of effects and crazy distortion, all kinds of awesome. And it was with this song that I heard like a vibrating sound. And at first I thought it was the wine bottles in our sideboard, maybe vibrating from all the bass and the rattling. But I took those out and the vibration sound remained. And it turns out that the magnetic grills on these speakers are inset into the speaker baffle. And at fruity volume levels, they do vibrate a little bit, and it's audible to my ears. So you do well to remove said magnetic grills, and then you're kind of left with like, do you like the way these speakers look with the grills off? Personally, I think they look better with them on because I'm not a big fan of that inset speaker look with grills off. Outstanding from the Gap Band. One of my favorite songs of all time, just a great tune. It's one for dancing. It's really hard to sit still when I'm listening to that song. I'm normally just dancing in my kitchen when that song's on. But since it's not a bass heavy tune, or like the bass isn't like half the song, like most of the music I listen to, all of the other frequencies are able to shine more, and the bass driver is not working overtime to reproduce all of the frequencies. And it's a really nice showcase of this speaker because you could turn it up really loud, there's no audible distortion, and it's just a wonderful listen. So that song rules on these speakers. Because this is a large cabinet speaker with an 8-inch driver, I had a few comparisons. The Modern Audio Silver 100 and the Bronze 100, both comparable to the speaker, though their cabinets are not as big as this one. So, there's no replacement for displacement. I think that's the term. Bigger cabinet really means bigger sound. It really shows with this speaker. It's able to dig a lot lower than the Silver 100. The Silver 100 does ace this one as far as like that top end sparkle and clarity. There's a lot more detail there, but it's outshone in the bass department. The Bronze don't have the same up top sparkle as the Silver 100s, but they're fairly close to these as far as like that top end. The bottom end is just, it's a wash. I mean, the Aperion smoke those in the bottom end, but they do hold their own. The Wharfedale Evo 4.2 is another comparison for this speaker. It's a tad bit larger. I think it's just about as deep, maybe not as deep, but it does have a dedicated mid-range driver. And so that mid-range is able to take a bit of the load off the bass driver and let the bass driver just handle bass. It gives that speaker a little more clarity, especially when I am listening to something like drum and bass, where the mids are able to shine alongside the bass. Though those don't go as deep as these do, but they go deep enough. And I remarked in that review that I really didn't need a subwoofer for day-to-day listening, but one does help. A subwoofer would help the Aperion speakers as well. You don't necessarily need one if you don't want one. In all, this is a wonderful speaker that throws out a huge soundstage and covers the better part of the frequency spectrum. If you're looking for high-end sound but don't want to spend high-end money, this is a speaker you definitely want to check out. And if you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching.